Would you like to grow colorful succulents like these? They are able to withstand the frost, the heat, and also the pests. Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. They say seaweed is really good for you. And in saying that, I also like using seaweed on my succulents. As the name suggests, soil wetter is used for wetting the soil. It is not a fertilizer. For fertilizer, I use a different seaweed-based fertilizer called Power Feed. So this is from fish, from compost, and from seaweed. So it's a plant food, promotes vigorous growth, improves soil health, includes sand and clay, promotes flowering and fruiting. And you might say that, can I use this one in replacement to this one? This is not a fertilizer. This is a fertilizer. If my plant or my succulents are really dry, and when you water it, it's not going to absorb water, so I use soil wetter for that. But for general feeding, once a year I give them Power Feed. Twice a year I have another routine. This is now to protect them from the frost, because we do get frost from this area, and also for pests. I don't get mealybug or very little mealybug if I'm using this one. So this is called Sea Sol, the seaweed solution. So I'm going to remove this one now. So these two, one is a super soil wetter, it's a brown container, and then this one is a complete garden health treatment. So what you have to read is root growth and ideal for planting, and stimulates flowering and fruiting, helps plant, deals with pests, heat, and frost. Now this one is just improves soil health. Okay, I'm just gonna, and then minimizes water runoff and improves water penetration. So this is a good example of what the soil wetter does. Without soil wetter, the water would just sit on top of the soil, but with soil wetter, it penetrates the soil, basically. But if you use this one to try and use this as a soil wetter like this one, it ain't gonna work. This is going to act or behave like water. It's gonna just sit on top like this, and it's not gonna get absorbed into the soil. So in saying that, you gotta use this after you water your succulents or water my pots. So I normally go away for long periods of time, or I leave my pots dry. So I use this one first to break the soil and dry it. After, say, a week or two, I will apply my complete garden health treatments. Super soil wetter on the left and complete garden health treatment on the right. So in this video, I'm using this one. So this one is intended to use for with a garden hose, but you can also use watering can application, which says 80 ml for seedlings or 200 ml for established plants. So for 9 liters of water. So what I have here, I have a 7-liter spray bottle or container here, and what I do is shake it up, and I would give it. This is 160 ml. Okay, so just roughly. Ooh, that's a lot of goodies. This is like the tonic. So now we're gonna put some water. So as you can see as well, compared to a soil wetter, the color is much lighter. I refer to this as a conditioner. Okay, so this is basically my seaweed conditioner, and I use it for newly potted plants like this one here. So also for established plants. So this is my bluebird that has been grown out in the elements. So I've had this plant for over 4 years, so about 4 years at least. This is my oldest bluebird or Echeveria bluebird, and I like to spray everything. So I use it to spray the leaves. This is actually good for preventing mealybugs attacks. So anything that I spray or I use this on, it seems to be less attractive to mealybug. So all these babies here, I'm getting ready for winter. I still have a month left of autumn before winter comes. So June is the start of winter here in Australia. And normally I apply this on the second month of autumn, which is April. But this year I was a bit late because I've been holding off trying to do a video. But then now I've decided that it's a little bit late. This is already at the end of April here. So I should have done this 2 weeks ago, before the first frost, and we already had the first frost. So normally before winter comes, or before the first frost really comes, I normally apply this to all my succulents. So it needs to be really like the roots has to absorb it. Okay, that's already running off. And this one is Chrissy and Ryan. Look how beautiful that is. But that is actually frost hardy already. So agavoides are quite frost hardy, but I still, ebony is agavoides. Ebony is also frost hardy, but still, these are all agavoides. But I still like to use my soil conditioner or my actually plant conditioner, because having the word soil in it can be confusing. So I give this in spring in preparation for summer heat, so they can resist the heat or survive the heat of summer heat, and also in autumn in preparation for winter. So a lot of the sensitive plants, like say for example the Suyon here, Echeveria Suyon, is not as frost hardy. -4, -5, they're fine. But then anything colder or the temperature goes lower than that, they do suffer and they become ugly. Same with my Melaco here, or Echeveria Melaco or Melasso. But this Halbingeri, this is quite frost hardy. This is already old. This plant is about in that pot for 3 years, but my Halbingeri is already like one of the first plants that I've got. And so this one, oh, look at that nocturne. That's what people say, nocturne. Oh, beautiful. Now this one, Rahoya, this is a very temperamental plant. I have 3 Rahoyas, and now it's got a baby. That's the first baby of this lot. So those are 3 mummies. And this is Letitia. Letitia is quite frost hardy, only because I use my Seaweed Conditioner. So I use them in spring every 2 weeks, and the same as in autumn. So I start applying this to all my plants, roots and leaves and all. So this is a serrana. This serrana is loved by mealybug. But if I spray this with this seaweed conditioner, then the mealybug doesn't seem to attack them. My PVN is the same. They're quite hardy, PVN on their own. But even better if they're given the seaweed solution. So as this Parpasaurus. So really, I spray all my plants with this stuff. In my care, my Debbie is sensitive to mealybug. For the past few years that I was growing my Debbie initially, I never applied this seaweed conditioner on it, mainly because I was afraid to remove the farina. So my Laui and my Mexican Giant never had, or my Cante for that matter, I never applied to it, because I applied it or given it the seaweed conditioner because I was afraid I'm going to remove the farina. And they are the ones that get attacked by mealybug. So I would say that the antioxidant properties of this seaweed conditioner really works on succulents. So my Crassula, Sedivaria, especially this one, this is my Hovii. which are suffering a lot lately because I haven't applied anything last year, and even this Amestro suffered from the heat because I did not apply some seaweed conditioner on it last year. And these ones are sort of newly bought plant from last year, and this is the first time, my Romeo, you're gonna get to drink some of this good stuff. And look at that beautiful Shaviana. Oh my goodness, gorgeous plant. Anyway, oh, this one too, my cotyledon, look at that. All that spots. This is a variegated one, but I think it's suffering from not having my seaweed conditioner. And also, I found out that I haven't been using it for 2020, last year, the COVID, and this year, mainly because I want to find out how effective it is. And my plants have always been spared by the birds. They would come and pick the little pretty rocks that I have here and there, but they would never ever peck on the plants. That doesn't bother me, doesn't worry me, but until someone pointed it out, like, how do you deal with birds? Well, I don't, because they never seem to attack any of my succulents. Until lately, when I bought some new plants. And the new plants have never been exposed to my seaweed conditioner. These are my newly acquired plant haul. I've actually done a plant video on this one, or a plant haul video, but 110 I bought. Well, to be honest now, I'm gonna be, I stopped at 110 because I had more than that. And it's just gonna take me forever to write the names, and it's gonna end up being a long video, but I am sure you're gonna forgive me because you do get the idea. Anyway, after acquiring these plants and planting them here, I haven't applied my seaweed solution on them, and they got attacked by birds. So the very next day, what I did is applied my solution, and the birds hasn't come back. All of these ones now, I have to give them the red star, the rock star treatment. So I have to really soak all of them and into the soil as well. So this Moranii, which is so beautiful, look at that. Oh, I really have to get into the roots. So I can't just put it on the surface. I have to, some of them are a bit soft, the leaves on the edges, I can tell that they need a bit more watering. So this is what I give them. I give them some seaweed solution. So that's it. I'm gonna keep applying this every 2 weeks until winter comes. And when winter comes, I won't be here, and then they can look after themselves. And then when I come back in springtime is when I'm gonna give them some more of my seaweed conditioner. And look what happened to the Solicens variegata. The center part is already going green before it was all white. This avocado cream as well. This has never experienced seaweed conditioner before. And also, I forgot, this is my lithops, which is really dry. So I haven't watered it for a while. So now I'm giving it the Rockstar treatment and giving it some of my seaweed conditioner. So Cotyledon, Orostakis, Dadleia, oopsie, Echeveria, Graptoveria, Pachyveria, agave, even this agave, this is frost hardy agave. So I applied them on everything. The more saturated, the better. So if you can get into the roots, the better it is. So again, this is not a fertilizer. So if you want them to grow really fast, then you have to use a fertilizer. But this one is just sort of, they're building up their immune system. So this is what this stuff does. Giving them antioxidant. So there you go, give it all, especially the frost sensitive plants or new plants. So this is still a new plant. This hasn't even seen winter, this one. And so as those ones as well, because I got them after in springtime last year, so it hasn't experienced winter yet. So my Haworthia down there, give it some stuff. Even my variegated Sagitta here. Any plants that are sort of suffering, I give it some Seaweed Conditioner. My temperamental Lindsayana here, give it some good stuff, and so as my propagated plants here, except that one I did not propagate. That one I bought it already sort of grown. Oh, although it was little, I've grown it now into a big one, but it was small when I got it. Now, all of this, the rest of it, I propagated myself, or grown from a leaf.